you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're gonna get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, just fine. Just let it seep in and speak to your soul. Or as Country Wayne would say, let it sizzle in your spirit. Speaking of Sagittarius energy. Just fine. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in the door. And in doing so, understand this is not about ego. Oh no. This is about algorithm. This just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what we're trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. Welcome to the function. Excuse my bluntness, but I'm just living my truth. This is an honest experience, an open expression. Yeah. Just fine. Where's everybody checking in from in the world? Ironically, it's 11:03 in Narnia. Do you know what your motherfucking vibe is? Yeah. If you haven't smiled yet today, now would be the perfect time to do so. I'm talking like right now. And if you can't find a smile for yourself, please allow me to be the smile on your face. At the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the motherfucking vibe. Can you feel that? I know. Welcome to this new moon in Sagittarius vibrational therapy. This is a segue into the most positive part of your life. You just have to allow it. You have to be willing to see the big picture. Experience is experience, but positivity is a direct result of optimism. Yeah. Being optimistic allows you to feel positive. You shouldn't have to have something positive going on in order for you to feel optimistic. Remember that. Hit the motherfucking like button for me too. And while we here, shout out to my favorite Sagittarius moon, Dak Prescott. Yeah. The best quarterback in the NFL right now. What's up, Ant? Yeah, y'all see it. Y'all see it. The player haters want to know who we are when we coming down like a superstar. We're going to take just a few more minutes to let a few more people trickle in. And then we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. Now, this is a Sagittarius new moon. It ain't too serious. We're going to touch on the transits. We're going to elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. Then after that, we're going to go wherever our intuition leads us. Or should I say we're going to go wherever my intuition leads us. Till then, just vibe. Yeah. Beats by Bless Zone Out Music. Let's zone out. I'm zoning. Yeah. I like that. How's everybody else doing? Wait. I ain't gonna blame that on the bullshit some smoke got in my nostril. So I ain't accused none of y'all on being on no bullshit yet. But I'm watching you. Magic City. Yeah, I seen it. I was watching. I was flexing. Yeah. Like I said, shout out to my favorite Sagittarius moon, Dak Prescott. He's a Leo sun, Sagittarius moon. Hey, it's still fucked up. Fucked up. I said the fucked up. It's fucked up. I can't take the pain. Man, I'm caught top down, leather seats in the rain. It's a shame, but fuck slitting my wrist. I'm gon' ride in ship like this. It's fucked up. This life we living is fucked up. Fucked up like my life been the whole fucking trip. I swing and ride and sip, cause no telling when I'm gon' slip and fall. Y'all done left me every time I need a pickup. They repossess my pickup. Nigga gone and roll this stick up. I'm lit up and leaning. Bullshit hot and steaming. When I ain't blowed, I'm fiending and these motherfuckers scheming. It's seeming like relief only lasts long as my buzz. Just post some more to us. Riding blowing with my cuz. My sister grown up but won't own up to the level. Like her brother, she a rebel. Boxing, scrapping with the devil. Pebbles, of boulders, of bricks, of Bombay cheese. But still my assets breeze. Except this dank that's in the breeze. Please leave me alone, the wrong blown while I'm sipping. Don't try to stop me while I'm dipping. Cause I got a clip and I'm tripping. I'm slipping into a state of confusion. I'm leaning cause I'm losing hydrocodone. Cause my bruises, I'm fucked up. I can't take the pain. Man, I'm caught top down, leather seats in the rain. It's a shame, but fuck slitting my wrist. I'm gon' ride and sip like this. It's fucked up. Yeah, this life we living is fucked up. Yeah. I lost my mama on 39th Street to hepatitis C. Susan Turner liked the speed, but Roger G, I like the weed. Rightfully, I moved in with my daddy over mama's dead body. Jesse Lee is a crack fiend and his habit hardly fed Roddy. Dead bodies and empty stomachs till I jumped in the game. 7 years later, no paper, I'm still bleeding my pen with fame. Nothing changed, no shame. I'm plagued by my wrong decisions. I'm acting on my feelings, several failures, several missions. I tried to listen to the wine-nosed uncles and friends, father. But when, father, you notice your second son been bothered. It been harder, but then again, without you, my skin harder like Vince Carter, man. In my sister's life, I've been a starter. I've been a part of several big plans. Super Mr. Big Man, but when you successful, it's 1,000 palms out with quick hands. Shit, man, I ain't got no family to run to. I'm already unglued, but I'm pushing until my heart is done. Fool, it's fucked up. What's up, y'all? Sagittarius, moon and rising, juicy kiwi, juicy fruit. Yeah, we about 2 minutes from talking about it. Just let it seep in. I ain't gonna say nothing else. Keep a weeper. Just let the vibe hit you. Queenie, too blessed. We blessed. Hold ya higher. Higher! Yeah. It's all right. You just gotta feel yourself enough to spit any of that shit. Come off the brain with any time. Like, I chunk more trays than Steve Kerr. Walk by in a blur. I walk by in a fur and make your chick cat purr. I'm the chief of the city. Yeah, let me quit. I could kill it like this. This makes me think of like a harvest. I don't know why. Some like, we finna talk about it though. Y'all just vibe. Y'all just vibe. It's about that time for you to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. Yeah. Let me switch into my thinking cap. Oh. There we go. Alana. What's up? Malik Brown said everything is vibrating. Yeah, because I'm magical. Just gotta set the tone. We got it going on. Speaking of a Sagittarius moon, it's what's beautiful is. Last night was the first night in 4 years that all of my children were under the same roof, sleeping in my house. My daughter and her fiance are here. Like, things are so beautiful. So, you know, I'm in a really awesome place with this. My leg is still fucking with me, but fuck it. My heart is full. Now, y'all ready to talk about it? So the sun now sits at 19 degrees of Sagittarius. Whoa. I just realized that's actually conjunct my Uranus. My Uranus is at 19 degrees of Sagittarius in my 3rd house. Y'all might get a taste of my brilliance today. But with the sun sitting here at 19 degrees of Sagittarius, and us being so deep in Sagittarius season, there's almost this feeling of like, fuck it. And it's not a fuck it to the extent that Aries would say fuck it, because there's still an element of care here. It's just like, hey, we doing it. We in it. Who knows what comes from it, but we're in this experience now. And that's truth. You can run in your mind. You can try to ignore the facts. The truth is, you in this shit. The shit you are afraid of is obsolete. It's absolutely obsolete. The people that you have resentment against, it's affecting you more than it's affecting them. You have to learn to find the positivity in the experience. Speaking of which, that brings us to the fact that we are in this new moon vibration for the next day and a half or so. All right. Because right now, at this moment, the moon sits at 4 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, that's crazy. The sun is conjunct Uranus, and the moon is conjunct my Saturn. My Saturn is 4 degrees of Sagittarius. So, it is what it is. I'm going to learn from it, maybe even if it's the hard way. Huh? But that's the beauty of it. Wisdom gained and truth experienced is still something positive, even if it wasn't the expectations that you thought you were going to experience. With this new moon in Sagittarius, this could absolutely be the segue into the most positive period of your life, or of your year, or of your month, or of your week, however you want to break it down. But I'm trying to see the big picture. I'm talking life-changing experiences. But that starts with optimistic expression. Now, optimistic expression does come from positive thought, but you don't need that. Now, look at this, man. The sun is also trine to Chiron in Aries. This new moon will trine loosely to Chiron in Aries. So if you fuck around and find out, so what? Guess what? You also found out something about self. Whether it's something that was humbling or something that was empowering or emboldening, you can allow it to be positive. That's just realizing that, hey, we in this, there's nothing we can do but live. That's the truth. This experience right here, this moment right here, it's the only one you got. The next one ain't promised. So live authentically and honestly in each moment. That means even allowing the lessons to be blessings. Okay, I fucked up. Now I know. I fucked around, I found out. But there's also those experiences where it's not negative. And you say, you know what, I fucked around and I found out. Now I know. Now I know. Talk about Sagittarius moon. I mean, look last night. The moon wasn't in Sagittarius last night yet, but you can look just last night. They want to know who's better out of Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. Well, which we've seen over and over. People just don't want to believe. Is Dak Prescott the Sagittarius moon? That Leo sun Sagittarius moon goon. We fucked around and found out. Yeah, I said it. I said it. But that's the truth. We found out. You can say what you can feel however you want to feel, but we saw the truth tangibly. One-on-one, head-to-head, no excuses. There it is. And that's the same thing with your problems. It's the same thing with life. One-on-one, head-to-head, no excuses. You fuck around and find out. That's what it is in each moment. Don't miss the present moment. Because the big picture is the present moment is all that matters, because that's all that's promised. Your motherfucking heart could explode in any moment. God forbid, but any of us could have an aneurysm. Any of us could have a heart attack. The roof could cave in on anybody. A motherfucking meteoroid, asteroid, piece of a plane, anything could fall in there on your ass and it'd be over with. The only thing you have is the present moment. And people have to learn how to live authentically and honestly in that. And a lot of people can't. They're too worried about what's going on with everybody else, or what's gonna go on later on, or what the consequences of that. And the fact of the matter is, that shit don't really matter. What matters is you were honest, you were truthful, you kept it real, and you lived authentically in every present moment. You do that, that's living with principle. You know? You gotta realize the big picture of your life is each present moment. And the rest of that is details that you might not ever have to deal with. And you might. You can use awareness. But the only thing you can do in each moment is live authentically. Live honestly. Be true to who you are. Don't live to harm anyone else. Live to find the truth of your journey. Because as I've said before, remember when we're in this Sagittarius season, that the purpose of life is not about finding a purpose. It's not getting to some destination. The purpose of your life is not to become this thing or the. No, that's a part of your journey. That's a part of the evolution of your character. The purpose is to live a life, to play a role. If we want to get philosophical, I remember I was on some psychedelics. It was DMT, but I was on some psychedelics, and in the trip, it's like we were at a play. First, we were at a carnival, and you just got on different rides over and over and over again, and that's just kind of how it was. And you were there, and it wasn't like you were trapped, but you were just riding different rides, and it's fun, but it's like, yeah. And sometimes you get off, and you're like, that was fun. Other times you get off, like, what was the point? Then, in this other part of the trip, you're on stage, and as the acts change, you go on, you change, you're playing different characters in this play. And you go off stage and you just change costumes, you go back on stage, you play the role, you go back off, you do it, and you do well or you learn or you don't do so well, but you still go on and you go again. And what I took from that trip is that's a lot of what life is. Life is, playing roles. The purpose of life is not about finding a purpose or getting to a destination, because the destination is death and destruction for all of us. And it doesn't mean that that's a negative thing. It just means that's how it is. At the end of all of this, there's something else, but it is the death or the end of the consciousness that is centered in this reality, or whatever you want to call it, this energy hologram. But each time, your purpose is to live a life. It's plain and simple. The purpose of life is to live a life. It's the journey. It's not the destination. That we all have the same destination. And that's some very Sagittarian philosophy to remember. It's about the journey. And that means every present moment. Live authentically in each one of those. That's the big pictures to understand. You're not going to get some type of tangible result at the end of this life. That's not how it works. It's not like you did good this time and you're going to get rest and refute it next time. No, you just play a different role. You might even choose to go harder next time. Let's make it harder on myself next time. Let's live a life as a handicapped person next time. Let's be someone who lives in an extremely exploitive environment. That's how it goes. And sometimes it's as simple as, oh, we switching roles. You play the mama, I play the daddy. Oh, next time I'll play the son. You play the cousin. Like it's just that simple. You're just playing a role. So yeah. What you gonna do in your role? So live authentically every day. Be an honest expression. Enjoy every experience. May your lessons be your greatest blessings. Let your intuition be your guide. This is a new moon, Sagittarius fire. Now, That brings us to Mercury. And Mercury is at 8 degrees of Capricorn. Now, Mercury's not going to move. All right. Mercury is going to go retrograde, or is going to station retrograde for real in 2 days on the 13th. And then it stays retrograde for 3 weeks. And I don't remember exactly what day it comes out yet, so I'll tell you tomorrow. I'm not sure which day exactly Mercury is going to station back direct. It's somewhere in January, at the beginning of January, but throughout the remainder of the year, basically. It's first, second, third, somewhere in there. But we basically have 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde. Now, the thing of this is Capricorn. So I've been saying it on Facebook, but I'm telling y'all now, you got about 2 days to get your shit together. Get your shit together before shit gets frustrating, before shit gets confusing, before little issues that you miss come back to bite you in your ass. You're gonna feel like the world's being mean to you and people are being cruel to you and that shit ain't fair. But that's not what it is. You should have stayed on top of your shit and handled your business the right way. That's Capricorn. Ain't nobody gonna hold your hand. You gotta grow the fuck up and mature and think maturely and make mature decisions. You're gonna see people making immature decisions. Making impulsional. I mean, not impulsional. I was trying to put emotional and impulsive at the same time. Impulsional. We're gonna blame that on that. But yeah, it's gonna be people making impulsive or emotional decisions. You hear me? You're gonna see people making errors that they end up having to pay more money. Where do you have 8 degrees of Capricorn in your chart? Let's say 8 degrees of Capricorn back through 20, say 17 degrees Sagittarius. So for me, this is my 3rd house. It's a journey back all the way through my fucking 3rd house again. So, whatever that means. Stress, confusion, annoyance, whatever the fuck it means. But I'm gonna have to deal with it regardless, so it don't matter. Yeah. Mercury is going retrograde in Capricorn in 2 days. I'm not going to even speak on what Mercury's doing right now. I need you to get your shit right. All right. Make sure you're on point with just about everything. Your bills, your landlord. This is the 3rd house. Your landlord, your rent. You could easily see yourself getting in trouble with the people that you live with, or there being problems with landlords and things like that. Oh, it's the 3rd house for me. I'm thinking about my shit now. I'm thinking like, damn, I better stop smoking. But see, just make sure you're paying attention. You're on top of your shit, really, all the way around. Your bills, your responsibilities. All of that shit. Whatever you consider your responsibilities. And also be careful, because there's going to be times right here where you need to be as literal as possible. And the people that aren't not as literal or honest or open as possible, like, it's just going to create more frustrating situations for them. Now, you could also have those exes of a Capricorn nature contacting you. This is not all of your exes. If your exes, if you say, this is Mercury retrograde, my ex contacted me. If it ain't really got nothing to do with no Capricorn shit, or whatever house this is affecting you in, somebody from your childhood, like for me, the 3rd house, somebody from your neighborhood, or your childhood, or like, if it ain't none of that shit right there, then you just been talking to your exes and you just full of shit. And a lot of y'all just waiting for an excuse to be talking to your exes anyway. That's the truth. I just see through your bullshit. Hold on. Yeah. I'm telling you now, though. Get on top of your responsibilities. Make sure you stay on top of your responsibilities. Because one little thing you missed could cause an issue for you. You could get in trouble because of attitude or with authority right now. This is Capricorn, with people at your job. Like all of that shit. It's frustration. You can feel like motherfuckers ain't respecting you. It could be little arguments about respect with Mercury stationed here in the retrograde shadow phase and then going retrograde in 2 days. You can find yourself getting annoyed really fast. This is Capricorn. But you have to ask yourself, is this helping you? Are you making things more difficult for yourself with the way that you're thinking, with the way that you're reacting, with your attitude? Because never forget, we talk about Mercury, but Mercury also rules over your attitude. It's not just your thoughts and your speech. That also is reflective of your attitude and your ability to make adjustments. That's something about Mercury that a lot of people don't speak on. Mercury is your attitude, baby. Yeah. So how are you going to allow that to cause things to get complicated for you during this retrograde? You can easily see that. For me, this is going to be conjunct my Neptune first. Conjunct my wife's sun. Conjunct my Neptune. And then it'll go back over to my Uranus. So this is occurring between my Neptune and my Uranus. Shit. But it is what it is. That's the vibe. Now, Venus is at 8 degrees of Scorpio. So Mercury is sextile to Venus. And we'll continue talking about Venus in a second. And trine to Jupiter. And with Mercury sextile to Venus and this being Scorpio and Capricorn, you just need to focus, stay on top of your shit. But also with the trine to Jupiter, chill, don't get too stressed out. Chill out. There's a calm focus. You have to use the whole polarity of Scorpio and Taurus and then work with it through the Capricorn energy of Mercury. So focusing that intensity without losing control of it, but also not allowing yourself to get stressed out. It's easier said than done, but it is possible. Largely so. $90. Yeah, I like that shit. Now, Venus is opposite to Jupiter. Venus is sitting at 8 degrees of Scorpio. Jupiter's at 6 degrees of Taurus. So with Venus opposite Jupiter, this is an extreme energy right here. This is where you could take it too far, do too much, go too hard, push too much, or you could wait too long, get stuck, be mad, hurt, depressed, fucked up, frustrated, or you could just win, and then win again. Yeah. And you start to string those wins together. You start to expect to win. But life don't do you like that. You can hit an extreme very quickly. Yeah. My Mercury is in Leo, Landon. Yeah. I'm a Mercury in Leo, dog. Why? Can you tell? Because of my voice? Don't be changing your name, Despard. Don't be using other accounts, because now we feel like you using burners like Kevin Durant, my dog. Despard coming in from the side. But anyway, back to Venus opposite to Jupiter. This right here could be hedonism, overindulgence. Like I said, this is an energy of extremes. Either you're not going to do nothing, or you're going to take it too far, go too hard, taste too much, get gluttonous. Yeah. I'm not a Scorpio rising, no. I'm a Libra rising. I just have Pluto in my first house. That's Pluto you see, you feel, that they hate, but can't kill. Yeah, it's that real. Now, Mars, 12 degrees of Sagittarius. So this right here is in its expression raw. So that's what I feel like about Mars and Sagittarius. It's raw. It's not as savage or primal as Mars and Aries, but it is raw. You thinketh, so you are. You thinketh, so you doeth. That's Mars and Sagittarius. I feeleth, so I trieth. I liveth, so I dieth. Yeah. That's Mars and Sagittarius. We do and we die if it comes down to it, but we get it done. We out here doing shit. We out here experiencing shit. We'll fight you for sport. It don't have nothing to do with anger or hate, or we do it because we can. Yeah. We do it because we can. We didn't ask for permission. We live it. This is an honest expression, baby. Yeah. I appreciate the love, Despard. You already know, we family. Set the tone then. I like that. Now, with Jupiter is retrograde at 6 degrees of Taurus. Jupiter will remain retrograde throughout the remainder of the month. Jupiter will station direct late in the evening on New Year's Eve. So we will really not get into that energy until New Year's Day. So we have Jupiter retrograde throughout the remainder of the year. That means don't get stuck. Don't expect it. Things might get real good for you right now. Or you at least might find yourself feeling like, damn, I could spend a little more, do a little more. But guess what happens? We get to the turn of the year, and now you ain't gonna have enough to enjoy or even take care of the things you need then. So don't get stuck. Don't get gluttonous. When I said be patient and be receptive, I didn't say stop. I didn't say quit. I didn't say expect. I said keep grinding steadily and do what you gotta do. You hear me? It's that simple. Keep grinding steadily and do what you have to do. Some people will never understand that in their own right. But yeah. Hold on. Now, Saturn. Saturn is at 1 degree of Pisces. So you got to fight the feeling. You got to learn how to deal with yourself inside of yourself. It's not about life and what life is doing to you, because life just does what life does. It's not how it goes. You just have to learn how to deal with things healthily. That means stop ignoring stuff. That means stop doing drugs. That means stop avoiding things. Stop letting fear control you. Stop manifesting the very things you're worried about. That's Pisces shit. And Saturn represents fear. Don't do it to yourself, Beans. Don't do it. Now, Uranus is retrograde at 19 degrees of Taurus now. And this is going to be retrograde until January 27th. And that means with a new moon in conjunct to Uranus, this right here could bring about some unexpected turns in your life. And specifically, unexpected turns of fortune, for the better or worse. And I want you to really, really understand, if you end up in a bind right now or something happens and it's like, damn, what the fuck is going on? Remember, when one door closes, another one opens up. So just because something didn't work out to your favor in one area doesn't mean that you're not going to find a unique way for you to prosper through this experience. So stay positive and find a stable place to operate from inside of yourself, not looking for a comfortable place to sit externally. But yeah, I mean, who am I but a professional? Now, Neptune's 24 degrees of Pisces. You see, don't you mean 24? No, 24. Because now you know. People were saying, oh, Neptune going direct is the great revealer. No, it's not. That's not how it, that's what you said when it went retrograde. It's all now the wool's going to come over your eyes. You're going to see things for what they really are. Now it goes retrograde. It's like now things are the great revealer coming out. Now, that's not... Like, You just confuse yourself getting caught up in all that shit, listening to what everybody else says and listening to what this person projects and worried about what this person expects. No, you have a main line to the divine that resides inside of you. You just need to tap into that. You don't know what to do. And people pay attention and get caught up in everything but that. This is supposed to be so spiritual these days. People are that's such a fad to be spiritual. Have, you know, have crystals and to burn sage and to put people's names in jars and do this and this and this. And they just be talking. Most motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about. But all of this shit really, really, really is deep practice for other folks. But for the majority of people, it's them caught up in a cultural trend. Them caught up in a cultural trend. When they have no idea who they are inside or what the fuck they're even trying to accomplish. And that's the issue. To be spiritual is not to look a certain way or do a certain thing. It's to be getting in touch with the spirit inside of yourself. It's to be actively trying to work on your soul. Some people never get it though. Fine. Now that brings us to Pluto. Pluto sits at 28 degrees of Capricorn for a week, about 3-4 more days. Then we'll be at the anoretic. I'm talking about the anorexic anoretic. That nasty 29th degree. Where shit gets crucial. Now, look. Things might not be how you want them to be. Things probably ain't gonna be how you expected them to be for a long time. That's frustrating. You're allowed to be frustrated. But I want to ask you, what are you gonna do with your frustration? What the fuck are you gonna do with your frustration? Are you gonna let it destroy you? Consume you? Handicap you? Or are you gonna allow it to motivate you? To push you to make changes? That's where we're at in this process, because as Pluto transitions to Aquarius, you're not gonna have much of a choice. This is a tremendous change of pace and mindset. We're going from conservatism to radicalism. Like, no. Let me blow your whole perception wide the fuck open. But hey, you don't want to take heed now. You need to brace yourself now. This chess, not checkers. Say, hey, I know shit's liable to get crazy for a while. I need to prepare myself, toughen myself up. Because on the other side of this, shit gonna get trill. I promise you. But how do you deal? How do you cope? Now, funny thing is, with Chiron retrograde until the day after Christmas, so till December 26th or Boxing Day for those of y'all in the UK. With Chiron at 15 degrees of Aries, it's ironic that I say, hey man, like, what are you gonna do with this world? No matter what you do, you got to hold yourself accountable. No matter where you are, you got to hold yourself accountable. That's what Chiron and Aries says. This is awareness, accountability, and action. You hear me? This is awareness and accountability in action. Not and action, in action. That brings healing. Right now, as this is still retrograde, this is more of a introspective part. So this is accountability. For the good or the bad, you have to hold yourself accountable. Maybe you deserve a little credit. Maybe you need a swift kick in the ass. The only way to determine that is through accountability. You hear me? Shout out to Heather Nielsen, the motherfucking commissioner of the Vibe Tribe. What's up, sis? Now, back to regular scheduled programming. The Black Moon Lilith, funny as it is, we're talking about accountability. The Black Moon Lilith is at 7 degrees of Virgo, so that makes it hard for accountability. Like, we're watching the football game yesterday afternoon, right? There's another beautiful football analogy that happened yesterday. We're watching the football game and Patrick Mahomes has one play of the game left, maybe two. They line up, and Patrick Mahomes is a Virgo, by the way, interesting as it is. They line up, they run the last play. Patrick Mahomes throws a deep pass to Travis Kelce, who then pivots, throws a backwards lateral to Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney runs it into the touchdown. It would have been a beautiful play, but there's a flag on the field. Turns out, Kadarius Toney lined up offsides. Now, usual practice, this is small details, this is funny. This is why it's Virgo. Usually, the practice is for when a wide receiver lines up to run the play, they check with the line judge who's sitting on the sideline, and they give him a thumbs up. My sons play football. The wide receiver, the tight end, whoever's right there, they'll give the line judge, whoever's lined up right there, they'll give him a thumbs up. He'll tell him, yes, you're lined up right. You're not offsides. That's practice. Well, Kadarius Toney didn't do that. The judge didn't tell him anything. They get the flag. The play comes back. They lose the game. Simple. You fucked up. It's a small detail, but you fucked up. And yes, the ref usually didn't have to call that. Yes, usually the ref will warn you, but you didn't ask. So he didn't warn you. You have to ask for him to warn you. It's not that you're a professional. It's not the ref's job. You're getting paid tens of millions of dollars, and Patrick Mahomes hundreds of millions of dollars to play your position. So you should have had your receiver lined up the right way, and if not, he should have lined up the right way. But at the end of the game, even when they're shaking hands, him and Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bills, Patrick Mahomes says, "Oh man, that was a horrible offensive offsides. That's a horrible fucking call." And then he's just big, just so upset that the refs made that call. He's so upset. After the game, he talks shit about how the refs shouldn't a call by the refs shouldn't determine the game and all that shit. But he never considered the fact that you should have been on point. You would have won the game if your team was on point. And even beyond that, if you would have been on top of your shit the whole game, you wouldn't have been only fighting for your life for a touchdown at the end of the game. Like, there's a whole bunch of details you're missing out on there, bud, and you're blaming everybody but your motherfucking self. You're blaming the refs. You're blaming the circumstance. But at the same time, you never thought to think, you know what? My team should have been on point. And as a leader of my team, I should have kept them on point. But that's the small details. And it's funny that Patrick Mahomes is a Virgo, but that just puts you into perspective of what the Black Moon Lilith and Virgo can do in a small way. It's little small shit. And he embarrassed himself. I was watching the sports talk shows this morning, and they were talking how him complaining the way he did about the ref was embarrassing to him. He's one of the best players in the history of the NFL. He's the best quarterback I've ever seen play. But you are disrespecting and embarrassing yourself by complaining about the refs when you should have just had your team on point. Like, that's what you should have did. And that's the fact of the matter is. And so with the Black Moon, Lilith, and Virgo, you're going to see people being able to point out what's wrong with everything else and everybody else. They're going to be highly critical, highly analytical, super technical about all types of shit, except what they have going on with themselves. I'm gonna tell y'all a cruel joke that we did to somebody when I was locked up on a trustee camp. And so there was this guy that thought he was better than everybody, right? But he was older than us, and so we worked into some stables, right, with pigs and horses and cows and shit. But I just worked in the field. I did all kinds of different stuff, and so we had got he had got fell asleep on the job, and he's sitting there snoring. We ate lunch, and he's sitting there snoring and falling back in the chair. So we had got a little bit of horse shit, and we had just put a Q-tip in there and rubbed it around in there, and then we just went real lightly and rubbed it on his nose on the end right there. Right while he was asleep, man, what the fuck, y'all better stop playing. And so the rest of the day, he walked around all day talking about it. Man, it fucking stinks, man. Y'all fucking smell that shit. Like, man, I mean, he's frustrated. Like, God damn, it stinks. Like, y'all, even we got to he's smelling his shirt. He's smelling his shirt. He's smelling the air. You see him doing it everywhere. Never even thought to think it was his nose. It's your fucking nose. And that's how a lot of us are in our lives. That's a funny joke and all that shit, but that's how a lot of us are in our lives. And our lack of awareness, our lack of accountability keeps us from being able to grow in a healthy way. We're too busy picking apart what everybody else has to do and telling them what they should be doing for us to realize the areas of our life that we need to grow in. Now, with the Black Moon, Lilith, and Virgo, you could also see people playing innocent when they're really fucked up in a situation. You can see people thinking way too much. You can see people being nervous. You can see people's mind fucking with them to the point where it affects them health-wise. You can see minor health issues coming up. Minor health issues coming up. But you have to address those. That's on you as the individual. Now I need a few more of y'all to hit the like button for me before I get mad and go home. We just getting started, baby. Now, the nodes are at 23 degrees of Aries and Libra. So, let's look at it like this. Codependency ain't gonna help you. You care way too much about what people think about you. Most of y'all are easily influenced and over-conciliatory, and that's why you're frustrated for most of the time, because you don't never get to do what you want to do. You're always compromising. You're always people-pleasing. That right there creates frustration with self, because you don't get to do what you want to do. You don't get to show who you really are. But whose fault is that? It's yours. When can you change that? In any moment. How do you change that? By taking action, by confronting yourself and confronting life, experiencing your truth. You hear me? This new moon is trying to the North Node. You can stumble into your destiny. Or you can travel confidently with purpose. Yeah. Now, the numerology of the day is the 3 vibration. But it has an 11 connotation, seeing that it's the 11th. The date is the 11th, so there's definitely a master number 11 vibration in here. There's divine inspiration to our creativity. The 3 is creativity. It's fun. So take this divine inspiration, this divine light from God or from truth, and enjoy it. Employ it. Create with it. Live by it. That's what this Sagittarius new moon is asking of you. And I think that's all I got to say about that. So we're going to be here for 1 more hour. And then I got to go. The floor is open for any questions y'all may have. Just make sure you're respectful of my energy. Please. Yeah. We repping for a minute. S4. There you go. Juicy kiwi. Juicy fruit. That's what I do best. My grandfather was the pastor of the church. What's up, Jenny? Yeah, them boys is back in town. The boys are back in town. I like that shit. Yeah. Yeah, you be respectful. Especially the way we get out after last night. Be respectful. Plus, I'm a Cowboys fan and a Pisces moon. I'm super delusional. And I'm super emotional. Tread lightly. Tread lightly. If y'all ain't got no questions, we'll sit here and vibe for an hour. I'm here though. I'm gonna try to come with a top 10 tomorrow. I can't guarantee, but I'm gonna try to. I still have to get up with Love 12 this afternoon for a session. Hold up. Hold on, I gotta look at it real fast. Hold on. Some of my phone said Eminem was dead. I had to look, my bad. It's a hoax. I was like, what the fuck? And started acting like all black folks said, I was just with him. I just seen it. He was fine. Like that means somebody can't die. That's what black folks say. I just seen him. He was fine. So when was the last time you saw him? About 6 months ago? Man, do you know what the fuck happened to somebody in 6 months? Here, I got you though. Hold up. Queen 2 Bless, you said Pluto square the ascendant in Sinistry. There's an intense attraction, maybe an obsession, but it's not probably healthy for that person's growth. There's an awesome attraction. There's an intense magnetism that draws them to that person, but is it healthy? Is it healthy? And is it exploitive? Now, Hoja Haya, you said your question earlier was what's the difference between Pluto in the first and Pluto in the first house retrograde? I would say the person with Pluto in the first house retrograde goes through a lot. Like they're constantly changing in a way that inside it's like they identify pieces of their character that like I'm a person that has Pluto in the first house retrograde. So here's the thing. I figure out stuff that I don't like about me all the time, and I change that immediately. Now there's other behaviors that pop up, but that's something that I do immediately. People with Pluto in the first house, normal, they go through stuff in life that really changes them. They go through the experiences, and this stuff happens, and then all of a sudden they're a different person. But with the person with the retrograde, it's like they go through this emotion. They have this emotional stuff. It could be an experience that caused them, but they go through something inside themselves that they themselves choose to change. So yeah, that can be a motherfucker in its own right. Venus transit Scorpio in the 4th house. I mean, Venus and Scorpio going to your 4th house would mean that you're gonna start. You could have a time where you develop deeper emotional bonds with people, or the feelings that you have towards people and the feelings that you have from the past cause you to start mistrusting the people that you are already involved with. It could go one or two ways, or both ways. You can see your bonds deepening with people, but you could also find yourself dealing with trust issues towards people because of stuff from the past unresolved, kind of being stirred up. If that makes all the sense in the world. Hoja, how you said the lady you talking to has Mars and Pisces in the 4th house retrograde. That just means first of all, she was raised in a confusing household. It wasn't. It might have been violent or she had to look out for, but the situation was just confusing. There was a lot of stuff going on where there was not a lot of clarity about the situation, and that was aggravating and frustrating in her own right, in its own right, and it made her have a way with her energy that's kind of frustrated because she's so emotional. Everything is so emotional with her that it's hard for her to, unless she can get into some type of rhythm, it's hard for her to really use her energy effectively. So yeah, all of that. But yeah. You said you're a 29-degree Aries. Is that a significant thing? Also, Sun in the 10th conjunct Mercury. Please elaborate. You're just a straight up person. If you're a 29-degree Aries Sun, what you see is what you get. And sometimes that's to people's detriment, because sometimes you're unapologetically to the point where it creates conflicts with people with that 29th degree. Like, you are just very, 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 very straight up. And that's refreshing in certain instances for people like myself, but there's other people that get offended by that, by you being so direct. Even in relationships with males, you probably could cause you some issues if you're that direct like that. And it's a matter of principle with the 10th house. It's a matter of respect for yourself. It can be frustrating in its own way. Yeah, I know you. I know you. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. Hoshahaya, you said the same lady has her sun in Leo, conjunct Venus in Leo in the 9th house, Kazimi. She's a very positive and confident person. Very positive and confident. I got you, Aunt. Aunt, you said, how would I summarize a Cancer rising, Virgo sun, Aquarius moon? Somebody who's very intelligent. They always understand what's going on. They always know what's wrong. They can sense when something's wrong, and they always just are great at just rooting out whatever the issues with people are, or even with things mechanically or things technically, and taking care of it. But, you know, summarizing them as a personality, they're a very intelligent person. Yeah. Not as intelligent as the sun in Leo and Venus in Leo, Kazimi. That there is something special. You hear me? We got 40 minutes. Let's make it count. I'm gonna be back here consistently until I can't. So you can expect this to be not even gonna say nothing else. You said what What is having Mercury retrograde out of bounds conjunct the galactic center in Sagittarius like? Means you're very intuitive, but you miss a lot of the details of what's going on. That's what it means. You're very intuitive. You see the big picture very well. You're tapped in, but you also miss a lot of the important details of each situation. You know a lot. That's what I would say. But because you know so much, or you're so intuitive, or you're so wise, you miss out on some of the key, the key factors in a lot of stuff. But you'll learn, grasshopper, you'll learn. I need to spit. There we go, sorry. He said, what if it's square Pluto? Then it's just square Pluto. How is your Mercury in Sagittarius in your galactic center? Let me try to see. Is your Pluto in Virgo? Or very early degree Libra? How can that be square Pluto? And just putting Mercury square Pluto makes you get in your own way a lot. Too smart for your own good. I have Mercury square Pluto in my natal chart. I'm very intelligent, but I'm too intelligent sometimes. So intelligent that I'm too smart for my own good. I don't learn a lot of new things. Also, on top of that, in order for me to really get involved with something or become interested in something, like I have to be obsessed with it. I have to. So if I want to know about something, I want to know everything there is to know about it. Not only that, I want to be able to be the authority in that knowledge and teach your ass something about it. That's what happens with me. So a lot of times I don't even fuck with shit because I know if I even get involved mentally, I'm a mentally all or nothing type person. So if I get involved in any way, form, or fashion, I'm gonna go all the way in. And that sounds like, oh, that's powerful. But that also can be fucked up. I get in my own way. I over frustrate, overcomplicate, overcompensate, all of that shit. I can't take anything at just surface value. And I can also be actually a little lazy because of my intelligence. I've not taken the time to work out certain things because I feel like I'm so smart I don't need to. And then wonder why I'm wrong. That's the thing with that. Hostia, you said, what does Moon and Gemini in the second house conjunct North Node and Gemini in the second house mean? I mean, you just got to utilize your multitude of talents to get money. That's what your destiny is to do, is enjoy your life and get money doing so. Find something you enjoy and create and enjoy doing whatever, or you know, just find something you enjoy and get paid doing that. And that will make your life, it'll help you be mentally stable, it'll help your life stay fun, and it'll also help you be productive and prosperous. You ain't got to get all into this deep spiritual life and all that other shit with the side. Like, nah, man, just use your talents that you have, the knowledge you have, the information you have, your multitude of talents, and get you some money. Queen 2 blessed. Mars and Gemini in the second house. Your energy gets scattered too thin. Or whoever, if that's not you, whoever that is, their energy gets scattered too thin. They get too many irons in the fire and then they don't have enough fire. They're all over the place. And like they're not able to develop genuine bonds or interactions with people the right way because people don't trust them because they talk so slick. They seem like somebody who's trying to get over. Sports kid, you say you have Pluto square your moon in Pisces and Mars and Scorpio square your Neptune. Well, one at a time, and me answering this for you. Pluto square to your moon is going to show some emotional issues with, you know, with control, because basically you had issues with your mom growing up, and you need to look at the issues that you have with your mom, and that'll help you open up other areas of your life. With Mars and Scorpio square your Neptune. Sometimes you get so focused on what you want, you forget about what's good for everybody else in the process. That's Scorpio and your and Aquarius. So with that Aquarius energy, you know, that's ultimately looking out for the good of everyone. But sometimes what you want individually is in conflict with what's good for everyone, and that right there can create some stuff. Young Neff, what's up? You said, what are my thoughts on Sun and Mercury and Virgo in the first house? And Lilith in Virgo. What are my thoughts on that? I don't know. I would say with your Sun, Mercury, and all that in Virgo in the first house, and Lilith in Virgo, you're also somebody who's very, very technical. You're very intelligent. You stay on point, but because you're so on point, you always stay nervous. Because you're always nervous, it makes you, in certain situations, a hard person to be around or hang out with because you kind of got a lot of frenetic energy within and of yourself. What do I think about 5th house Jupiter in Leo, opposite to 11th house Saturn in Aquarius? It means that you can get really, you're really awesome, and you have a lot of charisma, and you can have a lot of fun, and you can really take over a situation and light up a room. But sometimes you forget about everybody else in the process, and when you're doing that, you know, you just make things harder on yourself. You forget about the help that you have, and you forget about the connections that you have, and you lose your discipline. And so learning how to balance the two is everything, with Jupiter and Saturn being in opposition to each other. So yeah, all of that. We're going for 30 more minutes, 30 more minutes, and then we're out. So let's make it count. And I'll try to be back tomorrow. Part of Fortune and Vertex and Sagittarius in the 5th house. You need to learn how to loosen up and have fun. Like I said, enjoy the present moment. Loosen up and have fun, and whatever the present moment is, enjoy it. You gotta let yourself just enjoy the experience. So what if you make a mistake or you do something like, oh well. I promise you're not gonna get punished. But yeah. to tell you. That's some real shit, ain't it? Empress Adele, you said you're an Aquarius moon. You thought you'd relate to Aquarius Sun, Pisces moon. He's too intense. If he just shut the fuck up, you would be fired. Virgo Lilith. You gonna pick everything apart then. You're very picky with your Virgo Lilith. You're a picky person. Nothing's gonna be good enough. Nothing's gonna be enough. I mean, it is what it is, though, right? Yeah, I know. Hoja Haya said this lady has Venus in the 9th house, parallel North Node in the 6th house. Her relationships are gonna help her heal a lot of her stuff. Having healthy relationships, get into a healthy confidence, having healthy relationships that make her feel confident in herself helps her heal areas of her life. It goes hand in hand. Yeah. It goes hand in hand, man. Y'all don't appreciate nothing, though. That's the vibe. Any more questions? Any more questions? Come on with them. Come on with them while you can. I gotta get up and move around in a minute. Did I ask? Did anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Make sure. Let me make sure. Nope, I didn't miss nobody. Keep coming. What is Pluto in the 8th house, trine Lilith in the 12th house, conjunct the ascendant for Aries rising mean? That person has some deep, intense emotions that could be really dangerous to themselves, make them depressing. It can make them depressed or even suicidal. It can make them a dangerous person towards other people. That volatile, intense emotion that lives inside of them could be expressed impulsively in certain situations. So they need to have some type of productive outlet for all of that energy. For real. Some type of productive outlet. It is crazy. She might be crazy. Might cut your balls off, man. Oh, that's you? Jenny Wilson, you said, do I have a preference for whole house Placidus? Placidus, yes I do, Placidus. Each has their own place, but Placidus is the most accurate. They each have their own place, but Placidus is the most accurate. Plain and simple. You can resonate with other systems more, but Placidus is the most accurate. Always. Because it's the natural flowing of energy. There's nothing forced to be in a sign that's not normal because it's supposed to be equal sign. Or in a house, it's not supposed to be because it's supposed to be whole house. So you just kind of figure out what's best for you. But for me, I use Placidus because Placidus presents us with the most accuracy. What's up? I love how it's one of them quiet vibes. I got that moon conjunct Saturn right now. I'm low energy, nigga, but I feel like I'm gonna doze off half-fast. I'm still here, but I still got a class to teach in a little bit. My daughter here. Like, hold your highest. Basically, you have volatile emotions, and you got to make money and have fun. Interesting. Hell yeah, fuck it, do it. Hiya! Just like that. The whole point was to bring y'all the transits. I'm gonna come with a top 10 tomorrow. We going in 12 minutes. I'm leaving in 12 minutes. So let's make it count. I'm leaving in 12 minutes. 12 minutes. 12 minutes. 12 minutes and we out there, B. Yeah, we coming with a top 10 tomorrow. No matter what. I came to bring a little new moon and Sagittarius vibe to you today. I'll be here for a few hours tomorrow. We'll see what happens Wednesday. I have a reading to do on Wednesday. But I'm gonna have to get my energy right here for a couple of hours right now. I'm real low energy. And I still got a class to teach. No, we did not resolve the issue with the car. We are still without a vehicle. There's no way to resolve it. We still have to put a little bit more money together. It sucks. And not just a little bit. A lot of it. To Viva Osinka, you said, what's the difference of someone with a lot of retrograde planets versus someone with no retrograde planets? I would say the person with a lot of retrograde planets gets in their own way a lot for a multitude of reasons. The person with the other one doesn't really. Life might get at them, but like they don't get in their own way as much as the other person. The stuff that the person's dealing with internally with a lot of those retrograde planets slows them down in life, slows down their maturity and their development. Like I have Mars in Capricorn, right? Retrograde. I have Saturn in Sagittarius in my second house, retrograde. I have Uranus in my third house, retrograde. I have Neptune in my third house, retrograde. I have Pluto in my first house, retrograde. Now, a lot of those could be really awesome and powerful placements, but I get in my own. It took a lot of time for me to learn how to deal with them because I have internal conflicts and problems because of that same energy that held me back, whether it be with Mars and maturity and not having a dad around. It took me a long time to grow up and be a person that worked hard and made money and did the things that I do, like and handle my business the way that Mars and Capricorn does. It just not wasn't natural for me like a lot of people. Uh, with Saturn, it's not really circumstance, it's me. I've had a bad life, but I also didn't grow up. I've had chances to not be in poverty, but I messed it up. Whether it be bad decision making or relationships that I messed up. I could have had a chance to have a better life financially with my Saturn being in the second house. But a lot of times it's my mentality. I sell myself short. I could make so much more money if I did more, if I like. There's so much things that could happen, but I sell myself short. And it's not because of life circumstances. There's nothing holding me back from making money but me, or me not utilizing my God-given talents in the way that I should. Which is also why I have all those numbers I have the karmic lesson numbers I have in numerology. If you look at Uranus, I am very brilliant, but I'm also very conflicted. I don't behave. Nobody could experience my brilliance because I was so crazy. I acted a fool most of my life and got in trouble. So people didn't get to see my gifts. Same with my Neptune. Like a lot of that shit, it just took me a long time for me to be able to use it because I was using it for the wrong shit. I was lying and manipulating and using people instead of me using my skills and my gifts that God gave me and the things that I have in order for me to help people and for me to prosper from it. So it just took a lot of time for me to develop. With my Pluto in Scorpio retrograde in my first house, I'm always identifying parts of my character or elements of my personality that I don't really fuck with anymore, and I'm always eliminating those. But as those are eliminated, I'm also creating new character traits and new flaws that I learn how to identify with and find out if it's healthy for me or not. So there's a whole expression with that. You get what I'm saying? I'm always fighting inner battles that keep me preoccupied with my own self because my Pluto's in retrograde. And that makes the life's battles even harder. And I come out on the other side, but I'm a little bit more scarred. It takes me a little bit more time. And it's just because I make it harder on me. It's not life. I've had hard circumstances, but it's not harder than some individuals have had. So, I mean, you have to look at it from that perspective. But yeah, that's like the retrograde right there. With Mercury retrograde, you can see people, if they have Mercury retrograde in their chart, you can see them with speech impediments. You can see them with learning disorders. Like my son, it has Mercury in Aquarius in the 12th house, but it's retrograde. And he's very intelligent. His sun and Mercury are both, and he's very intelligent, but it takes him a lot longer to process things, to the fact that where he has to have special help at school or special time for him to process things. And he's never wrong on the answer. But he will not he doesn't realize how long it takes for him to come up with the answers. And a lot of it is because he's everywhere else in his mind. He's not even paying attention to the question. Then when he comes back to the question, he knows the answer. But before he even addresses the question, he goes somewhere else in his mind and travels and goes all off. And then it's like, okay, bro, what are you doing? And then he realizes and he answers it perfectly. It's a very interesting thing to see. Hoja Haya, you said you got Jupiter and Leo in the 5th house retrograde. What's that mean? It means you can be an attention hoe. attention whore. Means you are very charismatic. You have a lot, but a lot of times you do shit that gets in the way of people seeing your real self with Jupiter there. Like you have a lot of personality, you have a lot of natural charisma, but the extra shit you do for attention takes away from your natural positive expression. And then also sometimes like you're so awesome that you be copying other people and people don't get to see the real you because you too busy copying another motherfucker. Don't do that. You block your blessings. Or you can just be ostentatiously overconfident and cocky. Could Mercury retrograde show as ADHD? Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Mars in Scorpio in the 7th house, parallel Pluto in the 8th house. I mean, you're an intense person, a very passionate person. You bring that same intense passion about other people. You have a tendency to awaken the sexual nature of other people without even trying to. You turn people on sometimes. You're powerful, you're sexy, but you're also conflicted. But yeah, you have a tendency to awaken intensity in other people. Sometimes it's sexual, sometimes it's hate. It's never indifference. Tiviva Osinka, you said Saturn retrograde in Gemini in the 3rd house. Yes, that could be ADHD for real. Too scattered. Scattered brain all over the place, highly intelligent, highly versatile, but cannot, just cannot focus. It's unfocused intelligence, which just becomes chaos. It just becomes chaos.
Battery low, please charge.
Oh no, battery low, please charge. It's like we finna be done anyway though. We for real got 10 more minutes. Then we cooling. Super cooling. And I appreciate the overwhelming response for the other apprenticeship application. If you haven't sent yours, you can go ahead and send one. By tomorrow, I'm gonna pick. So when you're serious about it, let me know. I know a lot of people, if y'all said, "Hey, I got the money, I got this," I'll let you know by tomorrow. By tomorrow, I'll pick. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's super beautiful. Any more questions while we're here? Speak now or forever hold your peace. We're 9 minutes out. 9 minutes, and then we'll be back tomorrow for a top 10. Yeah. I need to go check on my daughter. Her and her fiance had a mushroom trip last night. Just fine. And so while we're here, if any of y'all are interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, don't get at me in my comments here. Get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. That's MR period TURNER 1300@gmail.com. Manu Ra, you said Aries Sun in the 12th house. You're a very calm person on the outside, but nobody really knows the fire that burns inside of you, the confidence that drives you to keep you so calm and cool and collected. There's something inside of you that's undefeated and inconquerable, and that's why you're able to stay calm in most situations and why you feel so solid to most people. Now, it's the light of God. Hojahaya, you said your question was Mars in Pisces in the 4th house, retrograde, parallel Pluto in Pisces, retrograde. What does that mean? I'm on Pluto in the what house? My bad, you say the Pisces. The 8th? Oh, the 1st. Your question was Mars in Pisces in the 4th, retrograde, Pluto in the 1st. I mean parallel. You know, parallels operate kind of like conjunctions, but in a function, you know, it's a functioning like a conjunction in a certain way where there's a certain balance or oppositional aspect with the contra parallels. But I would just say that you know you're an intense emotional person, and that's what drives you, and you have something emotionally pushing you to be different from what the way you came from, or the way your origin of, you know, the way that your family of origin is even changes. But hey, we finna go. You said this is the lady. I would have to, you know, I would have to know more to go more into detail with those. But yeah, with the parallels functioning kind of like a conjunction, but it has a certain adaptability to it, and the same thing with the contraparallel. So when you see that parallel between Mars and Pisces in the 4th and Pluto in the 1st, you know, those emotions cause them to make changes, and you know those emotions, you know, that have been stewing because of where they came from are incredibly powerful in their lives, and they're powerful motivators that can cause them to have some really destructive behaviors, but also be powerful motivators that could have them really helping people and empowering themselves to change. You know, it's up to you what you do with it personally. Would anybody else have anything else they'd like to contribute? Oh, Hoja High said one more question. You said Sun in the 9th house conjunct Pluto in the 8th house. I mean, I'd have to know more about that. They're an intense. I mean, that just tells me they're an intense person. They have some really deep stuff going on inside of them that's driving them. But I need to know what's other stuff going on with it to really give that an assessment of why, what sign it is, and why it's there, and what they're doing with it. But yeah. They're the epitome of intensity and extremity. Sun in Sagittarius, Pluto in Sagittarius. You're the type of person that's always pushing for better. You're intensely pushing for better. And you're always looking for the next opportunity. But sometimes you miss out on what's right in front of your face or what you're carrying with you. Sometimes when you're looking for better, you forget to realize you're as good as it gets. You're looking for better, you forgot to enjoy the present moment. You're looking for better, you forgot to appreciate what you already have. So you need to remember that. But you're very powerful and intense, and you're going to make your life better because you want better. But at the same time, you're going to miss out on what you already have in the present moment a lot of the times because you're always looking for better. Now, we finna go, y'all. I appreciate everybody's love and support. We will be back tomorrow with a top 10 of some sorts. Y'all just keep it trill, man. Keep a smile on your face regardless of the circumstances. Live authentically in each moment, because the next one ain't never promised. All right? I love you. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.